Hey, welcome back to another MLB Showdown breakdown at Fantasy Sports Insight. We have a 3-game showdown slate for tomorrow, one in the afternoon and a couple at night. So let's dig in right away. Per usual, we'll look at the odds first here. Our first matchup is between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We do get some decent pitchers on a slate, which I prefer in cash. I did talk about kind of going over some high stakes player lineups. I will do kind of a separate video at some point on that. Just in cash, when the two pitchers are pretty obvious, the starting pitchers are obvious, then you see that likely. But I kind of want to focus in on when we have bad pitchers or openers or some of those other things, just to see what other people are doing. So let's see if I can I don't want live betting odds. Apologize here. Let's scroll down here. Yeah, so minus 125 favorite for the Rangers. It is in Texas, so it will be some warm weather, good hitting park, but I don't think there's any way you pass up on Lance Lynn with his strikeout upside, and even Bumgarner at 9,000. I think has a nice 10 to 15 point floor. So I think these two guys, which again, at 15 points, if he gets that, that's a home run. So I think you take that all day long. Now, if you use both these pitchers and even use Lance Lynn in the captain role, we likely will be looking for cheap plays like Elvis Andrews at 5,800. You're also looking at Vargas if he gets a start at 5,200. I don't know how much cheaper. We might get Jake Lamb, and he's viable when you're facing a righty. We just don't want to play him when he's facing a lefty. Other than that, I think we're going to start to see the prices go up. Guzman may play. Kinner, let's see who else. Todd Frazier, 5,400. So we got some guys on here, and you're going to have to dumpster dive on this slate if you're going to use both pitchers. If you decide to fade a pitcher, maybe you fade Bumgarner, then you obviously need to just load up on Texas bats and then just one off with Arizona. It doesn't make sense to use a bunch of Arizona bats if you are going to still use Lance Lynn. I don't really love Gallo against the lefty, even though he can still hit bombs. Danny Santana is priced a little bit cheaper than normal. Maybe Calhoun. So other than that, after the top tier hitters here, and some of these pricings is insane. Ketel Marte 11.4 is way too expensive. Odor at 9.6, way too expensive. But we don't have a lot of great things to pick from, which is okay on a slate where we like both pitchers. So lock in these two guys, look for some value once the lineup comes out. The lineup will probably be pretty chalky. Even today in the first slate with Cease and Savale, Cease obviously got lit up, but I still used him, but didn't use him in the captain. A lot of the Sharks used him in the captain role, but it depended on who you used as that 4K play. I went Delmonico, and I think in my head-to-head went Zimmer. I was still actually able to edge out the win with the half-point extra from Savale when he got the win, which is pretty amazing considering Zimmer had 19 points. So I think Delmonico had 5, so that was enough to get me over the edge. Cease had negative 3.5 or something like that. So, all right, moving on to the next slate. We have our Twins and the Cardinals again. And if we look down here, let's see if we have any odds yet as I speak. We do not, but as expected, a slight favorite here. We have a pitching change. Okay, so Ponce de Leon is now pitching for Mikolas, and then we have Rich Hill on the other side. Now, I'm not really 100% sure how much of Rich Hill we're going to see here. It might just be a couple not a couple innings, but he's always semi-limited, even in full form. 5-inning max. He was scratched from his start on Saturday for an undisclosed reason. Give him a few extra days of rest. So this doesn't really scream, anything more than 5 innings, and 5 innings might be the top. But in those 5 innings, he does have strikeout upside. So I think he is definitely still in play. I would just use him with caution. And then we have Ponce de Leon, who last year I think he pitched more out of the bullpen, yeah, and it was used in a lot of long reliever positions, like where he would come in for an opener. Not somebody I love for 10-4 against the Twins. So I'm passing on Ponce de Leon. I would consider Rich Hill. But again, Miguel Sano is too expensive. When we have nice lefty hitters against Ponce de Leon, like Max Kepler, Eddie Rosario, Colton Wong probably won't be leading off against the lefty. Carpenter will probably be down in the order. So we might see like the cheap Dexter Fowler leading off. I like Buxton again. I think he's too cheap with stolen base upside basically every time he gets on base. Jake Cave, if he finds the starting lineup, would be viable as well. So I do think we like the hitters here still more on the Twins for me personally. I do like Goldschmidt. He's probably my favorite St. Louis hitter. Anytime he has a chance to face a lefty, that is definitely a matchup that he can take advantage of. And obviously Mitch Garver's got home run upside, Nelson Cruz as well. So not ignoring those guys, but if you're using, Hill, you're probably only going to get one more player up in this type of range. All right, moving on to the last slate. Seattle. We probably don't have lines up for this because it's, oh yeah, we do. Okay, Heaney is back on the mound at -210 against Justin Dunn for the Mariners. Heaney, I will be playing against a strikeout-happy Seattle. Now, these are the slates it's like hard to get to Mike Trout a lot of times depending on the pitching. Justin Dunn is scheduled to make his first start, but they will likely, be careful on his workload. So again, I just don't, 8,800. He does have a little bit of strikeout upside, but I don't love him in this spot. I think I would prefer, even if you use Heaney at the captain, you can still play Trout realistically and then just punt, with the rest of your lineup. And that could be viable too because Andrelton Simmons is out, so that's likely going to open up another valued play that's going to be into the lineup. And then Taylor Ward has been playing quite a bit, Tommy La Stella. So you could definitely still use Trout here. Obviously, he's the single best hitter on the slate. Rendon is a nice price discount, and Shohei Ohtani. Because if you use Heaney up top, you're still only going to be able to get one of these guys. So, well, actually, you could use Rendon and Ohtani if there's enough value at 4K or min price, but I don't know that I really see that happening. Justin Upton obviously continues to be really cheap and hitting 3 or 4 in the order, but he's not really performed that well. I think he has 1 home run this year, so 7,600 is viable, but it's not something I'm super excited about. Fletcher probably will lead off 6,400. That's viable. For Seattle, I think you're probably going to be just playing the cheapest hitter that's not hitting 8 or 9, if there's some value that comes out, because their value hitters are lefties like D Gordon. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm just fill in with Seattle, use Heaney in captain and cash, try to use Trout or Rendon, even Ohtani is fine. And then just fill in with value LA and value Seattle. All right. Hope you enjoyed another Showdown breakdown. We will come at you daily with these breakdowns, and hopefully you are able to run back some cash. So have a good one.